I played a secret Spotify playlist. Now I'm being watched. I know how this is going to sound. Trust me, I do. If I were reading this instead of writing it, I'd roll my eyes halfway through the first paragraph and move on to something else. But I'm begging you, just keep reading. I'm sitting in my car right now, in the driveway, engine off, driver's door locked even though I live in a quiet suburb with no foot traffic. It's been 2 hours. My fingers are ice from gripping the steering wheel so tightly, and my phone is almost dead. I keep staring at my house like it's watching me back. Like if I blink for too long, something inside will move, and then I'll have to accept what I already know. Something's wrong. It all started last Monday. I just finished binging 3 hours of conspiracy video essays. One of those nights where you fall down a digital rabbit hole and forget time exists. Reddit was my next stop, mostly out of habit. I usually check the same 3 subs before bed. That night, I lingered longer than usual on r/obscure media. I like the weird stuff, unlabeled VHS rips, lost public access shows, bootlegs of forgotten cartoons that aired once at 3 a.m. in 1989 and never again. That kind of thing. Anyway, I was scrolling, half asleep, when I saw a thread with a strange title. Spotify playlist that changes every day and feels alive. That wording, feels alive. I remember squinting at it, like maybe my eyes were playing tricks on me. But no, that's what it said. And of course I clicked. The post itself wasn't very long. The original poster, username deleted, which I didn't notice at first, said they'd found the playlist while browsing random public accounts. It was called A Song for You. No profile pic. No bio. 0 followers. No artist credits. Just the playlist name, lowercase, with a single track in it, updated daily. The OP didn't explain much, just said they had been following it for 2 weeks and the songs started lining up with real-life events in creepy ways. The vibe of the track, the lyrics, the title. One comment mentioned hearing a song with lyrics that predicted a fender bender the next day, right down to the color of the car. Another said they played the list before an exam and heard a track that repeated the words fail, fail, fail like a chant. The part that really hooked me, though, was a buried comment near the bottom. No upvotes, no replies, just, if you listen to it exactly at midnight, the first song will describe your next day. Trust it. Now, full disclosure, I'm the kind of person who's always been drawn to the fringe. Urban legends, unexplainable phenomena, cursed YouTube videos from 2007. I eat that stuff up. I've never seen a ghost or experienced anything I'd call supernatural, but there's always been a small, hungry part of me that wants to believe. Maybe it was boredom, maybe curiosity, maybe I was just tired and a little reckless. But I set a reminder for 11:59 p.m. that night, just to see. Midnight came. I was lying in bed in the dark, headphones in, the only light coming from my phone. I opened the playlist. Just one song as promised. The title that night was You Will Be Alone. I remember laughing a little, nervously. Edgy. Could mean anything, right? Maybe the track was some lo-fi instrumental. Or a breakup ballad. But I hit play. The first thing I noticed was the quality. It sounded like it had been recorded on old analog equipment. There was a hiss, a subtle warble, like the sound was decaying as it reached my ears. But the vocals were clear. Too clear. A woman's voice, whispering, not singing, not spoken word poetry, whispering directly into the mic like she was trying not to wake someone else in the room. They won't answer when you call. Those were the first words. They're already gone. Even the ones still breathing. You are alone. You are alone. You are alone. That last phrase echoed, but not digitally. It sounded like it was bouncing around in an actual physical room. And I swear, I could hear something move in the background. The clatter of something small hitting the floor. Breathing. A door creaking shut. But I chalked it up to audio layering. Maybe it was just part of the track. I didn't sleep well that night. The next day was weird. Not overtly horrific. Not some Final Destination type of day. But uncanny. First, my roommate left early for work and never came home. Not unusual, he's a nurse, but he always texts. Nothing that day. Then my mom didn't pick up when I called during lunch. Again, not out of character, but she usually calls back. That day, nothing. My best friend ghosted our group chat. My boss left a note on my desk saying he'd be working from home indefinitely. Even the barista at the coffee shop down the street, the one who always smiles and asks about my weekend, didn't make eye contact. Just handed me the cup and turned away. It was like I'd become invisible or untethered. By sunset, I had a stomachache I couldn't explain, like something had cracked open beneath the surface of the day. I went to bed early, didn't touch the playlist again. I figured it was just coincidence. A series of small social hiccups stacked on top of an eerie suggestion. That should have been the end of it. But then Tuesday happened, and I listened again. This time the song was called "Don't Open Your Eyes." I hesitated. My thumb hovered over the play button for a full 30 seconds. But I was already spiraling. I needed to know. I needed to prove to myself it wasn't real. I pressed play. The track was slower this time. Minimal. A single plucked string, like a cello dying one note at a time. The voice, same woman I think, wasn't whispering anymore. She was humming the melody to Brahms' lullaby, but dissonant, off-key, deliberately wrong. Then, right near the end, she spoke. "You'll see it when you blink, so don't." I don't remember falling asleep, but I woke up with the feeling that something had been hovering over me in the dark, watching, close enough to touch. From there, things escalated. Wednesday's track, "It Knows Your Name." Thursday, "You Looked in the Mirror Too Long." Friday, "You Invited It In." Each one got worse, and I swear they weren't just predictions, they were instructions. I followed them. I don't know why. It was like the music bypassed logic and planted something in me. I stopped sleeping. I stopped eating. I couldn't talk to anyone without hearing their words dissolve into static. My phone started glitching. Whole days disappeared. I'd zone out at work and find myself staring at the same screen 3 hours later with no memory of what I'd been doing. I deleted the app. Came back. I blocked the playlist. It still played. Even on mute, I could feel the sound vibrating behind my eyes. And then came tonight, Saturday. I told myself I wouldn't listen. I promised myself. I turned off my phone. I threw it in a drawer, but something started knocking from inside my closet. A slow, rhythmic tap, in time with a melody I couldn't hear but could feel in my bones. My closet is locked. Always has been. I don't even use it. But the sound didn't stop. Not until I opened Spotify again. Tonight's song? "Now It's in Your House." That's when I ran. I grabbed my keys. Didn't even put on shoes. Just sprinted to my car, locked the doors, and sat there hyperventilating, waiting for the sun to rise. But now it's almost 3 a.m., and something just moved behind the curtains of my bedroom window. The lights are off in there. No one should be home. So now I'm writing this, hoping anyone has heard of this playlist, has seen what I've seen, felt what I'm feeling. Because if this is all in my head, I need help. But if it's not, then I think I've already listened too many times. And tomorrow's song might be my last. Creepy? Yeah, sure. I'll admit the first song gave me chills. But I'm a rational person. I brushed it off. Weird internet thing. Creepy vibes. That's it. At least that's what I told myself. The next morning, things were off. I was halfway through my second coffee at work when I got a ping on Slack from HR. Cold. Impersonal. "Please come to conference room B at 10:30. This is a formal request." My stomach dropped. I replayed everything from the past week. Had I missed a deadline? Said something off to a client? No red flags. I'm the quiet guy. The one who keeps his head down and just gets through the day. I don't chat much. I eat lunch at my desk. Most people probably don't even know my name. So when I walked into that room and saw 2 HR reps with blank faces and folders already open in front of them, something in me curled up. "We've received a report," one of them said, her tone like glass. "Anonymous. They said you've been exhibiting intimidating behavior." I blinked at her. What kind of behavior? They wouldn't say. Generalized hostility. One of them finally offered, like they were reading off a menu. Staring, tension, unsettling presence. I laughed, nervously, stupidly. Are you serious? They didn't laugh. I spent the rest of the day trying to make sense of it. I hadn't spoken to anyone in days, barely looked up from my monitor. Unsettling presence? I didn't even know what that meant. Still don't. But as I sat at my desk afterward, replaying the conversation over and over, I couldn't help but think of the song from the night before. You will be alone. And maybe, just maybe, this was the start of that unraveling. Weird coincidence, right? That's what I told myself again. But the next night, I listened anyway. That same day, Tuesday, I came home to flashing red and blue lights spilling down the hallway. My neighbor across the hall, Ms. Ellis, had died. She was a sweet old woman, the kind who baked too much and left wrapped banana bread at your door even if you never asked for it. She wore lavender perfume and called everyone dear. I used to hear her singing along to old jazz records on Sunday mornings, soft and warm like it was still 1952 in her apartment. The thing is, no one else noticed she was gone. She didn't have family. No kids, no siblings, no one who called. It had been quiet for days and nobody thought twice, except me. I was the one who noticed the smell in the hallway. That slow, rotting sourness that doesn't belong in a building where people still live. I knocked on her door once, then twice. No answer, so I called it in. The paramedics found her on the kitchen floor. Natural causes, they said. No foul play. Her tea kettle had boiled dry on the stove. Her cat was still alive, hiding under the couch. They took her out on a stretcher draped in a white sheet, and no one even watched them go. I stood in the hallway for a long time after, just listening. Her apartment was silent. Too silent. Like the silence was thick now. Heavy. Final. And I swear, when I turned to unlock my door, I felt something cold brush past me. Like the air itself had weight. Like something had just moved from her side of the hall to mine. That night, I listened to the playlist again. I couldn't help myself. Same as before, just one track. No artist name. No album. The title this time was You'll Carry It Now. I hit play. My hands were shaking. It started with a sound like wind through broken glass. Then the same voice. Only this time, she wasn't singing or whispering. She was breathing. Slow, deliberate inhales. Barely human. And then she said it. It was alone too. Now it's with you. I ripped the headphones out. Almost threw my phone across the room. My skin was crawling. My breath came in short, shallow gasps. I couldn't stop shaking. Couldn't stop feeling something on me. The music was inside me now. Like it was watching how I reacted. Measuring me. Like it liked the fear. And from that night on, every time I hit play, I got chills. Not metaphorical ones, the real kind. Pins and needles. Goosebumps. Breath frosting the air, even when the room was warm. The songs weren't just predicting things anymore. They were doing something to me. I laughed when I left my apartment that morning. Nervously, sure. But a laugh all the same. The kind you let out when something presses too hard on your mind and you're trying to scrape it off like old gum on a shoe. The songs were weird, unsettling, but they couldn't be real, right? Still, I found myself glancing over my shoulder more than usual that day. At work, I kept catching my reflection in the monitor, staring slightly off-center, like it wasn't quite tracking with my movements. At lunch, the usually buzzing break room was dead silent. No chatter, no music, just forks scraping plates like nails down a chalkboard. When I walked in, 3 coworkers stopped talking. They didn't even pretend to keep the conversation going. They just watched me sit down, eyes dull and fixed. At the grocery store that evening, the air felt off. The produce smelled metallic. Every person I passed seemed to avoid looking directly at me, like I was out of focus in their vision. A kid in the cereal aisle burst into tears when I walked by. His mom didn't comfort him. She just stared. That's when I saw it. A black sedan, parked across the lot, engine idling, windows tinted so dark they looked painted over. I only noticed it because it was facing directly toward me, like it was watching, like someone inside was waiting. When I left the store 20 minutes later, the sedan was gone. I told myself I was being paranoid, sleep deprived, unsettled from everything that had happened. That made sense, didn't it? But an hour later, as I pulled into my apartment complex, I saw it again. Same black sedan, same make, same dead-staring front bumper. Parked across the street this time. No lights, engine silent. I sat in my car with the engine running for almost 5 minutes, staring at it, waiting to see if anyone got out. No one did. I finally went inside, trying not to sprint up the stairs like a scared kid. I locked the door, double-checked the windows, turned on every light. I didn't even make it to midnight that night. I listened to the song early. It was titled "Don't Look Behind You." And this time, I swear, when that voice came in, I heard my name. At exactly 12 a.m., I opened the playlist. The usual ritual. But this time, something was different. The app wouldn't close. I don't mean it lagged or crashed. I mean every time I tried to swipe out of Spotify, the screen locked up. The music kept playing. When I pressed the home button, nothing happened. When I held down the power button, nothing. Just that same song echoing in my ears. The track was titled "No Exit." It started with silence, then a soft, mechanical clicking like a record needle stuck on the same groove over and over. And then the voice. Same woman. Calm. Flat. "You started this. You don't get to stop." I felt my throat tighten. I tried everything. Closed the app. Rebooted the phone. Nothing worked. The screen flickered once like static over an old TV screen and the playlist reappeared. Still playing. On loop. Even after I powered the phone off, the music didn't stop. I watched the screen go dark and the sound kept bleeding from the speakers. Soft. Relentless. Like the phone wasn't really off. Like the music wasn't coming from it anymore. I had to let the battery die. That took 3 hours. By then, the whole apartment felt wrong. Too still. Too heavy. The air had this strange charge to it, like the moment before a lightning strike. My ears rang with a soft, invisible hiss like some machine was humming just outside the edge of perception. The walls felt close. Every sound, the creak of the floorboards, the buzz of the fridge, the shifting pipes felt magnified and wrong. Not louder, just off. Like the audio of reality had been detuned by a few hertz. I didn't sleep. Couldn't. I just sat on the couch, eyes wide in the dark, every muscle clenched, waiting for something to move. Waiting for the song to start again. And then, this morning, something changed. I woke up, if you can call it that, with the dead phone still in my lap. My body ached. My mouth was dry. But the air felt thinner. Like something had left. But then I noticed the living room window. It was open. I never opened that window. It sticks. Has for years. Painted shut by some lazy previous tenant. It's never moved an inch. But now it was cracked just slightly. A cold breeze drifted in. On the windowsill sat a single object I know I didn't put there. My phone. Fully charged. Turned on. And already playing the next song. This morning, something happened that I can't explain. At exactly 11:58 a.m., my phone lit up with a push notification. It was from Spotify. But it didn't say anything about new releases or made-for-you playlists. No album recommendations. No artist spotlights. Just this. "We like that you're listening. We're almost ready." At first, I thought it was a mistake. A hack. A bug. Maybe someone spoofing notifications? I swiped it open. Spotify launched, but it didn't take me to the homepage. It opened directly to the playlist. That playlist. The one with no creator, no followers, no cover art. Just a song for you. My blood ran cold. I screenshotted it. I needed proof of something. My hands were shaking, but I hit the capture button. I saw the thumbnail pop up in the corner. I breathed just a little. But when I went to the gallery to check, gone. Not corrupted. Not blurred. Gone. No record of it. Like the phone had already decided I wasn't allowed to keep it. I haven't listened today. I've avoided it all day, ignored the itch in the back of my mind, the way my thumb kept hovering over the app. It felt like the playlist was waiting for me to press play. Like it could feel my hesitation. Like it was watching. Then, just now, another notification. My phone buzzed once. Just once. Soft. Like a breath against my palm. "Don't worry. You're not alone anymore." I dropped it. And then I heard it. Not from the phone. Not from the app. From inside my apartment. A quiet, tinny sound coming from my bedroom. The opening chords of every breath you take. Sting's voice, soft, deliberate. Almost slower than I remembered. Off-key, just slightly. Dragged out like it was being warped. I knew exactly where it was coming from. My headphones. My wireless ones. They were on my nightstand. I haven't touched them in days. I'm home alone. No one should be playing anything. But they are. Right now. I'm still sitting in the living room staring down the hallway at the bedroom door. It's cracked open and that song is still playing. Over and over again. Every breath you take, every move you make. My hands are shaking. I haven't gone in there yet. I don't know what I'll find. But I know one thing for sure. I'm not alone anymore.